What if I told you that the secret to living a longer, healthier life after 60 isn't in a medicine bottle, but right in your kitchen? It's true. The foods we eat every day can either support our body to age well or slowly wear it down without us even realizing it. You don't need to follow complicated diets or count every calorie. And you definitely don't need to give up all the foods you love. But there are a few simple things we can do, starting with what we put on our plate, that can quietly, gently add years to our life and life to our years. I'm not a doctor. I'm just someone who's seen how small changes can lead to big improvements, especially as we get older. Over the years, I've talked to friends, read the studies, listened to my body, and one thing is clear: certain foods truly help us stay stronger, think clearer, and feel better after 60. And today, I want to share 5 of them with you. 5 foods you can eat every day, without spending a fortune or turning your routine upside down. These aren't exotic ingredients or trendy health fads. They're simple, proven, and, honestly, delicious. Before we begin, if you find this kind of content helpful, I'd love for you to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps more people like us find this kind of information and keeps this community growing. Alright, let's get started. Let's talk about the first food. It's small, colorful, and full of power: berries. Blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, whichever kind you like best, they're all packed with something called antioxidants. Think of antioxidants as tiny protectors inside your body. They fight off the damage caused by aging, pollution, and even stress. Now, why is this important after 60? Because as we age, our cells don't repair themselves as quickly. That's one reason we might notice more aches, slower healing, or even memory problems. But studies have found that berries can actually help keep our brain sharp. One study from Harvard followed over 16,000 women aged 70 and older. The ones who ate more berries had slower rates of cognitive decline. That's pretty powerful for something you can sprinkle on your morning oatmeal. And they're not just good for your brain. Berries also support heart health, help balance blood sugar, and even reduce inflammation, which is linked to joint pain and many chronic conditions. I usually keep a bag of frozen blueberries in my freezer. Every morning, I toss a handful into my yogurt or just eat them plain. They're naturally sweet, no added sugar, and they never get boring. If you're someone who struggles with dessert cravings like I do, try swapping cookies or ice cream for a bowl of chilled berries. Add a spoonful of Greek yogurt or a sprinkle of cinnamon if you'd like. It's one of the easiest changes I've made, and one of the most satisfying. Alright, that brings us to the next food. This one is often called the brain's best friend, but it's also great for the heart, joints, and even your mood. I'll tell you what it is in the next part. But for now, remember this: eating well isn't about being perfect. It's about making one good choice at a time. And if that one choice today is adding a few berries to your plate, that's a great start. Now, let's talk about the second food, the one I mentioned earlier. It's often called the brain's best friend, but it also takes care of your heart, your joints, and even your mood. I'm talking about fatty fish, like salmon, sardines, mackerel, or trout. These fish are rich in something called omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s are a type of healthy fat that your body cannot produce on its own, so you have to get them from food. And after 60, they become even more important. Why? Because omega-3s help reduce inflammation, the kind of slow, silent inflammation that builds up over time and contributes to problems like arthritis, heart disease, and even memory loss. They also support brain function and may help protect against dementia. There's a well-known study from Rush University that followed older adults for several years. The researchers found that those who ate fish high in omega-3s at least once a week had a much lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. And that's just once a week. Imagine the benefits of eating it 2 or 3 times. But let me be honest, I wasn't always a fan of fish. I used to avoid it because I didn't like the smell, or I didn't know how to cook it. But I gave it another chance, and now I've found ways to enjoy it without the fuss. For example, I often buy canned wild salmon or sardines packed in olive oil. I'll mix them into a salad, mash them on whole grain toast with a squeeze of lemon, or even blend them into a light fish spread. It's quick, simple, and surprisingly tasty. If you really can't do fish, there are plant-based sources of omega-3 too, like flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. They don't contain the same type of omega-3 as fish, but they still offer many benefits, especially for heart and brain health. Some people also take fish oil supplements. Personally, I prefer getting nutrients from real food whenever possible, but supplements can help if your doctor says it's right for you. At the end of the day, it's not about eating a perfect meal. It's about adding in little things that support your body, and fatty fish is one of those quiet heroes. Alright, we've covered berries and fatty fish so far. Let's keep going. The third food I want to talk about might surprise you. It's not flashy, and it's not expensive. In fact, it's one of the most humble and underrated foods in the world: beans. Beans, whether they're black beans, kidney beans, lentils, chickpeas, they're all full of fiber, plant protein, and important minerals like potassium and magnesium. And here's the best part: beans are fantastic for blood sugar control, which becomes more important as we age. After 60, many people start noticing their blood sugar creeping up, even if they've never had a problem before. The fiber in beans helps slow down digestion and keeps blood sugar levels steady, avoiding those energy crashes or sudden spikes. They're also great for your heart. Multiple studies have shown that people who eat beans regularly tend to have lower blood pressure and healthier cholesterol levels. That's no small thing after 60, when our cardiovascular system needs more care. In places around the world where people live the longest, places like Okinawa in Japan or Sardinia in Italy, beans are a daily staple. They're simple, nourishing, and incredibly versatile. Personally, I cook a batch of lentils every week. I add them to soups, mix them into salads, or even use them as a side dish. I also keep canned beans in the pantry for quick meals. Just rinse, warm, and season with a little olive oil and herbs, and you have a comforting, heart-healthy dish in minutes. I know some people avoid beans because they worry about bloating. But starting slow and drinking enough water usually helps. And over time, your body adjusts. So now we have 3 foods on our longevity plate: berries, fatty fish, and beans. Each one brings something different to the table, from brain support to heart protection to steady energy throughout the day. And we're not done yet. The fourth food is something leafy, green, and full of life. I'll share more about that in the next part. But I hope by now you're seeing a pattern. Real, whole foods, nothing fancy, nothing extreme, can quietly support your health in powerful ways. Now let's talk about the fourth food, the one that's leafy, green, and packed with life. It might not sound exciting, but leafy greens are one of the most powerful things you can eat after 60. I'm talking about spinach, kale, Swiss chard, collard greens, arugula, whatever leafy green you enjoy or can find easily. These vegetables are full of vitamins like A, C, K, and folate, plus minerals like calcium and iron. But more importantly, they're loaded with plant compounds that help protect every part of your body. What makes leafy greens so special? First, they support heart health by helping to lower blood pressure. The nitrates in leafy greens relax your blood vessels and improve circulation. That's important, especially after 60, when the risk of heart disease naturally increases. They also support eye health. As we age, our eyesight changes. But leafy greens contain lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 antioxidants that help protect the retina and reduce the risk of age-related macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of vision loss in older adults. One study from the Journal of the American Medical Association found that people who ate more leafy greens had a significantly lower risk of cognitive decline. That's brain and memory protection, just from eating your greens. Now I'll admit, leafy greens aren't always the most exciting part of a meal. But they're easy to include if you get a little creative. I like to saute spinach or kale with garlic and olive oil as a quick side dish. Sometimes I blend a handful of baby spinach into a smoothie, you can't even taste it. Other times, I'll add arugula to a sandwich or throw a few leaves into an omelet. You don't need a big bowl of salad every day. Even a small portion of greens, once or twice a day, can make a difference over time. If you're worried about kidney stones or blood thinners like warfarin, talk to your doctor about which greens are best for you. But for most people, adding greens is one of the easiest and cheapest ways to support long-term health. So far, we've talked about berries, fatty fish, beans, and now leafy greens. Each one is simple, accessible, and full of benefits, not just for helping you live longer, but helping you live better. But we've still got one more to go, the fifth food. This one might surprise you. It's crunchy, it's brain-friendly, and just a handful a day can do wonders. Any guesses? It's nuts. Walnuts, almonds, pistachios, and even pecans. Nuts are little packages of healthy fat, fiber, protein, and important antioxidants. And after 60, they offer a unique set of benefits. Let's take walnuts, for example. These are especially good for brain health. They contain alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a type of plant-based omega-3, as well as polyphenol that reduce inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain. In fact, there was a study published in the journal Nutrients that showed older adults who regularly consumed walnuts had better memory and cognitive function compared to those who didn't. That's pretty impressive for something you can snack on in the afternoon. Nuts also support heart health. They help lower LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, and improve the flexibility of your blood vessels. That means better circulation, more stable blood pressure, and a stronger heart. What I love about nuts is how easy they are to include. I keep a small jar of mixed nuts by my kitchen counter. A small handful, maybe 7 or 8 pieces, is enough. I eat them when I'm a little hungry between meals or sprinkle them on top of my morning oats or salad. Of course, they're high in calories, so moderation matters. But you don't need a lot. Just a small daily serving can offer powerful health benefits. Some people worry about the price of nuts. And it's true, some types can be expensive. But you don't need fancy or organic brands. Store-brand nuts or buying in bulk can help save money. Even peanuts, while technically a legume, offer some of the same healthy fats and fiber as tree nuts. So now we've got our 5: berries, fatty fish, beans, leafy greens, and nuts. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent, making small, steady choices that support your body and brain as you age. And maybe most importantly, it's about enjoying your food. Longevity doesn't mean eating bland or boring meals. It means choosing foods that not only nourish you, but also make you feel good, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So now you know the 5 simple foods that can quietly support your health and longevity after 60: berries, fatty fish, beans, leafy greens, and nuts. None of these are trendy or hard to find. They're not based on fads or extreme diets. They're just real, honest food, the kind your body recognizes and knows how to use. And the beauty is, you don't have to change everything at once. Maybe tomorrow, you add a handful of berries to your breakfast. Next week, you try a can of sardines with crackers. Little by little, these small steps can build up to something powerful, not just for your health, but for your energy, your independence, and your peace of mind. I want to be clear, eating these foods doesn't mean you'll live to be 100. There are no guarantees in life. But what they do give you is a better chance. A better chance at staying active, thinking clearly, and enjoying time with the people you love. I've seen the difference it can make. I've seen friends who started eating better in their 60s and now, in their 70s and 80s, they're still walking every morning, gardening, laughing, remembering names, and living life on their own terms. And that's really what it's about. Not just living longer, but living better. So, if you're watching this and you've been feeling overwhelmed by all the health advice out there, let this be your reminder: you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to count every gram of sugar or cut out every treat. You just need to keep showing up for yourself, one meal, one step, one choice at a time. If this video helped you, or made you think differently about your plate, I'd love for you to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. That way, you'll be the first to know when we share more tips for staying strong, sharp, and happy at any age. And if you know someone else over 60 who's looking for simple ways to eat better, feel free to share this video with them. Sometimes, just hearing that it's possible can make all the difference. Thanks for spending this time with me. Until next time, take care of your body, stay curious, and don't forget, a long life is built one bite at a time.